Alright, it has been about 10 months since my last music update. Figured it was time. So the last one I covered what I learned in the music theory class that I took. And at the end of it, I said that I thought it would be really helpful in working on my own songs. So after music theory, so if you remember, I tried to put a chord to every other word in one of my songs, and I felt like I failed miserably because it didn't sound anything like I wanted. So after the music theory class, I did some analysis, the best I could, on that song. I wrote down all the chords that I was playing, or I wrote down all the notes I was playing. There was a lot of inferring I had to do on what chord I was really aiming for, but I tried to analyze it the best I could, and it became pretty clear of why the song didn't turn out like I wanted. If you just look at the analysis, if you were to look at it, it is all over the place. Like, it's just completely random, which is kind of like what it sounded like. It was just like, whatever. So apparently just me throwing random junk at the piano doesn't work very well. So good to know. Good to know why it didn't work. And then something I don't really want to admit, but after that analysis was complete, I was struggling before this, and it just fell into a full-on struggle of living in Seattle. Apparently put me in some kind of mild depression or something. So I wasn't motivated to do anything, and I didn't do anything after that. That was about, September, I think, last year, 2023, and I just became absolutely miserable. So we moved back to Kansas City, where we came from, and so there was about 4.5 months in there that were just completely dead from me being miserable and then moving. So I started up music again after that, and good news, I am about 10 billion times happier here than I was there. That place is terrible. So I'm back to working on music, have been since February. So good and bad there. What else? Oh, and then since then, as you saw, I recently posted stuff about rhythm piano. So I did that. So I have been working on stuff since my misery ended. And that's all I've done, though, unfortunately. I don't have much to say. So at this point, you might be wondering, so when are you going to work on a song of yours again? Well, the answer is now. I am not going to go back to the previous song I worked on, though, the one where I put a chord to every other word. Instead, I'm going to do a different one. One that I wanted to do first. The only reason I didn't start with that one first and I went with the other one instead is because this one is one of my favorites, and I was afraid that if I started with it, I would have too high of expectations, and it wouldn't go well. Well, the other song didn't go well, and I don't know. I think it's time to just switch over to this one, and I'll just see how it goes. I feel like it's a good idea because it's one of my favorites, and I have a ton of ideas for it. So it just seems like that's what I should do. So that's what I'm going to do. Something else I don't want to admit is that I'm scared to work on it. So the last time I tried to work on a song of mine, I mean, I tried, so you don't have to consider it a failure, but you know, it's kind of a failure, and I'm afraid of failing again. So I think I'm just gonna try and take super baby steps and just build up slow and see how it goes, and I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Is that it? I think that might be it. Oh, and then it's been, a while, so I need to revisit the things that I learned in the music theory class, because, like I said in the last update video, I think it'll really help. And I still think that. I just have to remember what I learned so that I can be like, oh yeah, this will really help. So, yeah, I think that's all I got.